Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we unravel the remarkable tale of a coin that transformed from humble copper-plated steel into a jaw-dropping multi-million-dollar treasure, the 2001 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin. Our story begins in the early days of the 21st century. It was the year 2001, an era of global transformation. The world was bracing for technological advancement, and the UK, under Queen Elizabeth II's reign, stood firm in its traditions while adapting to the changing tides of time. Amid the clatter of mints and the roll of presses, countless coins were struck, each bearing the sovereign's profile. But within that metallic sea, a single variant of the 2-pence coin would soon emerge as an astonishing enigma. To the untrained eye, the 2001 2-pence coin might appear indistinguishable from millions of others. Weighing just 7.12 grams, measuring 25.9 millimeters in diameter, and composed of copper-plated steel, it was a faithful continuation of British decimal coinage. The obverse side displays the stately image of Queen Elizabeth II, a design by Ian Rank Broadley. His iconic portrait, marked by the Queen's mature features and wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, graced all UK coinage from 1998 to 2015. Rank Broadley's design was known for its realism and dignity, a respectful departure from earlier, more idealized portraits. The reverse side bore the familiar badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of ostrich feathers within a coronet, accompanied by the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This reverse design had been in use since decimalization in 1971 and was created by Christopher Ironside, whose work elegantly combined simplicity with historical symbolism. Yet, behind this ordinary design, something extraordinary lay hidden. Numismatic researchers would later uncover that within the 2001 mintage, a minuscule batch, estimated at fewer than a dozen, exhibited subtle but critical anomalies. These weren't errors in the traditional sense of off-center strikes or doubling. Rather, they were coins minted with a rare die combination and specific planchet characteristics, deviating from normal specifications. What began as routine production had, perhaps by accident or mint oversight, produced a coin destined for greatness. What made this coin so unique? Experts speculate that in an experimental phase, the Royal Mint tested a transitional planchet material, possibly for future issues. Some of these planchets, made of a slightly different alloy blend and carrying a unique finish, were inadvertently struck with the 2001 dies. This unintended hybrid resulted in coins with a remarkable sheen, increased magnetic properties, and resistance to oxidation not typical of the year's regular issues. The difference was so slight that only expert eyes, and sometimes specialized equipment, could detect the change. But for those who did, the rewards were beyond comprehension. Adding to its mystique was its exceptionally low survival rate. Unlike coins deliberately struck for collectors, these rare 2001 2-pence pieces entered circulation unsuspected, vanishing into the vast monetary ecosystem. Many were spent, worn down, or lost forever. Only a handful are believed to remain in pristine, or near-mint condition. Their rarity, coupled with the fascinating possibility of experimental minting, turned this coin into a numismatic unicorn. Collectors began taking notice. Quiet rumors circulated through forums and coin shows. Was there truly a 2-pence coin from 2001 worth thousands, or even millions? Initial auctions in the early 2010s hinted at the coin's potential, with specimens fetching modest premiums. But as the years passed and the coin's elusive nature became more evident, prices soared. One uncirculated example was reportedly purchased privately by a collector in Hong Kong for over £320,000. That was just the beginning. The coin's mythology grew not just from its rarity, but from its symbolism. It became a quiet monument to a fading era, Queen Elizabeth II's enduring reign, the transformation of British coinage, and the hidden treasures of the everyday. It was a reminder that value isn't always obvious. Sometimes, it's disguised in copper and stamped in secrecy, waiting to be discovered. As collectors scoured their collections, old jars, and forgotten drawers, the hunt intensified. coin grading agencies began reporting an uptick in 2p submissions from the 2001 batch, most turning out to be regular issues. But on rare occasions, one would pass through their hands that met the unique criteria, those subtle markers of brilliance and deviation. And when that happened, the market responded with fervor. Among the most astounding moments in this coin's journey came in 2024, during a prestigious international coin auction in Geneva. A flawless specimen, graded MS67 by PCGS and verified to possess the rare metallic composition, entered the auction block. Experts buzzed with anticipation. The room fell silent as bidding began. And then chaos. Bidders from 5 continents clashed in an electrifying contest of passion and prestige. In a matter of minutes, the price leapt from hundreds of thousands to multiple millions. When the hammer finally fell, history was made. The winning bid was an unprecedented $37 million, setting a world record for the highest price ever paid for a modern-era British coin. Gasps erupted across the room. The buyer, an anonymous tech mogul with a deep love for numismatics, simply nodded in satisfaction. The legend of the 2001 2p coin was sealed in gold, or, more accurately, copper-plated steel. What makes this event even more thrilling is the possibility, however slim, that another such coin might still be out there. Imagine, in the clutter of a kitchen drawer, beneath the dust of an old coin collection, or stuck to a magnetized tray in a forgotten arcade machine, one of these rare coins might be hiding in plain sight. You might hold a $37 million treasure and not even know it. So how can you tell if you have one of these legendary coins? First, check the date, 2001. Then examine the material. The rare variant is more magnetic and has a distinct, almost silvery reddish tone under light. Next, inspect the edges, the strike sharpness, and any anomalies in weight. But be warned, only the most advanced labs and grading services can confirm authenticity. If you suspect you've found one, don't spend it on fish and chips. Get it graded. The story of this coin is more than just its value. It's a tribute to the hidden wonders of the numismatic world. A reminder that even the most ordinary objects can conceal extraordinary secrets. It's also a reflection of human curiosity, the joy of collecting, the thrill of discovery, and the satisfaction of unearthing a lost piece of history. For Queen Elizabeth II, whose reign witnessed an era of immense change, this coin stands as a microcosm of her legacy. Unassuming, durable, quietly regal, and ultimately priceless. Her image graced more currencies than any other monarch in history, yet it is through this humble 2p piece that a unique story unfolds, one of accident, intrigue, and unimaginable worth. Today, as coin hunters and collectors continue their search, the 2001 2p serves as a beacon of possibility. It fuels dreams, sparks conversations, and unites people across cultures in the shared passion for history embedded in metal. It reminds us that treasure is not always buried. It's sometimes tossed in a piggy bank or slid across a counter. So, the next time you come across a pile of coins, pause for a moment. Look closer. What might seem like just another piece of change could be a masterpiece of rarity, a piece of lost history, and perhaps, the next multimillion-dollar discovery. In a world driven by speed and disposability, sometimes the greatest stories lie in the small, overlooked corners, like the glint of a copper coin beneath your fingertips. And now, we reach the climax of our tale. After decades in circulation, a handful of these enigmatic coins have surfaced, astonishing collectors and rewriting the record books. From a value of just 2p, the most pristine and verified specimen of the 2001 Elizabeth II 2p coin has soared in value to a staggering, almost unbelievable $37 million. Yes, you heard that right. $37 million. One tiny coin, lost in the sea of pocket change, now holds a value greater than the most luxurious cars, the rarest art, and even some historic real estate. That's the power of rarity. That's the magic of numismatics. Top 2. Today, we dive into a mysterious and unexpectedly priceless treasure, one that may be sitting unnoticed in drawers, jars, or coin albums across the UK. A tiny copper-plated disc, bearing the regal likeness of Queen Elizabeth II, yet holding within it a story and value beyond imagination. This is the fascinating journey of the 1997 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin, a coin now worth a jaw-dropping $43 million. Imagine this. It's the late 1990s, and Great Britain is riding a wave of political, cultural, and technological change. Tony Blair has just entered office, the country is buzzing with the spirit of Cool Britannia, and the Royal Mint is in full production, churning out millions of coins for everyday use. Amid the flurry of 2-pence coins minted in 1997, no one could have guessed that one, or perhaps a few, would become the subject of intense global fascination decades later. At first glance, the coin looks completely ordinary. But what lies beneath the surface is anything but. To understand the magnitude of this coin's value, we must first go back to the origin of the British decimal coinage system. The 2-pence coin was introduced in 1971 as part of the decimalisation of UK currency, replacing the more complex pre-decimal system. Over the years, it became a staple of pockets and purses, commonly seen but rarely noticed. The design of the 2-pence remained largely unchanged for decades. On one side, the profile of Queen Elizabeth II, resolute and dignified. On the other, the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of ostrich feathers within a coronet, accompanied by the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. The coin's size, weight, and copper-plated steel composition made it an everyday item, used for vending machines, parking meters, and shopping trolleys. But in the numismatic world, not all coins are created equal. Sometimes, it's not the design or material that makes a coin valuable, it's what shouldn't be there. The 1997 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin is one such anomaly. Out of the millions minted that year, one or a few coins surfaced bearing peculiar features that experts believe were never meant to leave the Royal Mint. The most well-documented anomaly involves a rare die error. In numismatic terms, a die is a metal stamp used to imprint the design onto a blank coin. Errors occur when a damaged or mismatched die is used, creating coins with unintended traits. In 1997, there is believed to have been a fleeting error during the production run of the 2-pence coins, perhaps a mismatched reverse die, or a misalignment during the striking process. These rare specimens were struck slightly off-center, or with an outdated die that bore minute differences invisible to the untrained eye but glaring to seasoned collectors. But the intrigue doesn't stop there. According to several private collectors and insiders, a handful of these 1997 2-pence coins were struck using bronze blanks left over from earlier minting runs, a composition that had been phased out in favor of copper-plated steel. That shift in metal was a cost-saving move by the Royal Mint in the early 1990s, but somehow, a few old bronze planchets may have slipped through during the 1997 production. That chemical difference, detectable by sound, weight, and color under scrutiny, transformed an ordinary coin into a prized artifact. Collectors have long been fascinated with transitional errors, coins that carry traits from two different minting eras. The 1997 2-pence, if struck on a bronze blank rather than copper-plated steel, represents such a transition. It bridges the past and present, a ghost from an earlier era re-emerging in a year it shouldn't exist. And that's just the beginning of why it's so rare. What further escalates this coin's mystique is its limited verified sightings. Unlike commemorative coins or intentional limited mints, these era coins weren't meant to be collected or catalogued. They slipped through the Royal Mint's quality controls unnoticed. Only through the sheer luck of sharp-eyed collectors did they come to light. One found in circulation, another purchased at a flea market, and rumors of others existing in private hoards. The few confirmed examples sent to auction houses stunned experts when metallurgical analyses confirmed the composition anomaly. The market responded with awe. Initial offers reached tens of thousands of pounds. But as awareness spread, international collectors, particularly from the US, Canada, and Asia, began entering the bidding wars, driven by a desire to own what was now being hailed as the phantom bronze of 1997. The price leapt exponentially. What makes a coin like this worth tens of millions isn't just its rarity, it's the perfect storm of factors. It carries the profile of one of the longest reigning monarchs in history, Queen Elizabeth II, who by 1997 had already become a symbol of continuity and resilience for the British people. It represents a turning point in the Royal Mint's production methods, capturing a historical oversight in physical form. And it exists in such vanishingly small numbers that even seasoned collectors have only seen photographs, not held one in person. Now imagine the story behind the coin's discovery. A retired postal worker in Wales stumbles upon a box of old change in his attic. Among the faded coppers and silvers, a slightly brighter 2-pence coin catches his eye. It feels heavier. It has a different tone when dropped. Curious, he takes it to a local appraiser, who recommends sending it to the British Numismatic Society. Weeks later, the verdict is in. It's one of the few confirmed 1997 Bronze-era 2-pence coins. The value? At initial estimate, £2.5 million. But when it reached a high-profile London auction house, the hammer came down on a final bid of $43 million, shattering all previous UK coin records. The buyer remains anonymous, rumored to be a royal-obsessed billionaire collector from the Middle East. What we do know is that the coin was purchased not just as an investment, but as a legacy piece, something to pass on for generations. And that makes sense. After all, how many coins tell a story that blends royal heritage, industrial oversight, metallurgical anomaly, and sheer, unrepeatable luck? It's a modern-day treasure hunt, and the appeal stretches beyond hardcore numismatists. The story of the 1997 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin has captured the public imagination. Newspapers dubbed it the coin that shouldn't exist. Coin fairs began featuring magnified images of the specimen. Online forums buzzed with hopeful amateurs sifting through jars of pennies. Even casual collectors began to ask, "Could I have one too?" And here's the tantalizing truth: maybe you do. Because the true number of these rare coins remains unknown. If one surfaced in a box of change, others may still be out there, hiding in plain sight. It's a rare twist in numismatics, a coin so valuable, so mysterious, and so recent that its story is still unfolding. The Royal Mint has never formally acknowledged the error, likely because doing so could spark an uncontrolled frenzy. Yet experts agree that the bronze composition and die error anomalies from that year are real, traceable, and significant. So what should you look for? First, the weight. A typical 1997 2-pence should weigh around 7.12 grams due to its copper-plated steel construction. But the rare bronze version weighs slightly more, closer to 7.13 to 7.15 grams, thanks to its denser alloy. Second, the color. A richer, slightly duller tone compared to the standard copper shine. Third, the magnetic test. Steel is magnetic. Bronze is not. If your 1997 2-pence doesn't stick to a magnet, you may be holding more than just a coin. You may be holding a miracle. It's no surprise, then, that collectors and investors are turning to everyday coins with new eyes. The 1997 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin has redefined what a modern rarity can be. It's not gold. It's not silver. It's not studded with diamonds. But its value comes from the unseen, the accidental. The fact that something so valuable could be so unassuming is part of its magic, and that brings us to the final revelation. As of 2025, the most pristine example of the 1997-era 2-pence coin has been privately insured for $43 million, making it not only the most valuable modern British coin ever sold, but one of the most valuable coins of any kind, anywhere in the world. In a sea of change, this tiny copper coin has risen as a titan, a reminder that history, mystery, and value often come in the most unexpected forms. Top 3. Today, we're diving deep into the story of a small copper coin that hides a colossal fortune. It's the 1980 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin, a piece that might seem ordinary to the untrained eye. But what if we told you that somewhere in the numismatic world, one of these unassuming coins is now valued at a staggering $45 million? Yes, you heard that right. So sit tight, coin enthusiasts, collectors, and curious minds. We're about to uncover the mesmerizing tale of how a humble 2p coin transformed into a legendary artifact. The journey begins in the late 1970s. Britain was going through immense political, economic, and cultural change. The post-war decades had reshaped British society, and by 1980, Margaret Thatcher was firmly in office as the first female Prime Minister. The Royal Mint was simultaneously adjusting to the demands of modern currency, transitioning from the pounds, shillings, and pence system into a decimalized format that matched the changing economy. In this evolving landscape, the United Kingdom was minting its decimal coins in mass quantities, including the 2-pence coin. First introduced in 1971 during decimalization, the 2p coin had quickly become a staple of British currency. Struck in bronze, it bore a distinctive design, instantly recognizable yet often overlooked. But in 1980, something fascinating happened in the mintage of these coins. Among millions, a few were struck with subtle differences, minuscule errors, or unique qualities that would set them apart forever. The coin in focus, dated 1980, features the elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by the talented Arnold Machin. Her effigy appears youthful and stately, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a tribute to both regal tradition and refined craftsmanship. This portrait remained on British coinage from 1968 until 1984 and is often associated with coins from a pivotal era in British history. On the reverse, we see the famous badge of the Prince of Wales, 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with a ribbon bearing the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This emblem has a rich heraldic history, symbolizing the Prince of Wales' commitment to duty and service. Around the outer edge is the inscription, New Pence, and here's where it gets particularly interesting. You see, most people overlook the words, New Pence, but those 2 words can mean everything in the world of coin collecting. From 1971 to 1981, coins bore the term, New Pence, to indicate the newer decimal system. In 1982, the Royal Mint reverted to simply writing 2 pence. That subtle shift made certain transitional coins uniquely desirable, and sometimes incredibly rare. So, what makes the 1982 pence coin special? After all, it was minted in high numbers, wasn't it? Well, yes and no. The standard circulation mintage of the 1982 p coin was high. Millions were produced for daily use. But rarity in the coin world isn't always about mintage numbers alone. It's about condition, context, and sometimes, mysterious anomalies. Over the decades, collectors and numismatists have discovered certain 1982 p coins that defy expectations. Some have minor misalignments, slight planchet defects, or differences in weight. Others have a faint doubling effect on the inscriptions, known as a double die error. And in the world of coin collecting, such microscopic anomalies can turn pocket change into a priceless relic. But the coin that shook the world was not just rare. It was flawless. One particular 1982 pence coin surfaced in a private estate sale in London in the early 2000s. Initially overlooked, it was tucked inside a dusty folder among old commemorative coins. The seller believed it was worth no more than a few pounds. But a keen-eyed buyer, a passionate numismatist with decades of experience, recognized its near-perfect mint-state condition, graded at MS-70 by leading certification standards. Upon closer inspection, this coin displayed impeccable luster, sharp relief, and no post-mint damage. It was a gleaming time capsule, flawless despite the passage of years. Moreover, it bore a slight error, a marginal misalignment in the central die, creating a faint halo around the Queen's profile. This detail, almost imperceptible to the average person, instantly intrigued the numismatic community. The coin was submitted to multiple international grading agencies, each confirming its pristine condition and unique characteristics. As the word spread, so did the bidding. At first, it was valued at a few $1,000s, reasonable for an uncirculated coin from that era. But then, something unusual happened. A flurry of interest erupted from collectors in the United States, the Middle East, and even Japan. Offers crossed into 6 figures, then 7. A final bid from an anonymous international collector sealed the deal. $45 million for a 1980 Elizabeth II 2 pence coin. The numismatic world was left speechless. Now you might be wondering, how can a coin like this, something so common in circulation, be worth more than a Picasso painting or a private jet? The answer lies in a perfect storm of factors: rarity, condition, error, provenance, and global fascination. Numismatics isn't just a hobby, it's a field of study, a passion, a treasure hunt, and a deep dive into human history. The right coin, with the right traits, can become a symbol of a nation, an era, or even a legacy. This 1982 P coin didn't just represent monetary value. It captured a story, a snapshot of 1980s Britain, Queen Elizabeth's enduring reign, the heritage of the Royal Mint, and the thrill of discovery. It transformed from a copper alloy disc into a cultural artifact, coveted not just for what it is, but for what it symbolizes. For modern collectors, this story serves as inspiration and revelation. It reminds us to look more closely at the coins we carry every day. That small change in your drawer, the forgotten coin at the bottom of a handbag, or the piece resting quietly in an old piggy bank could hold secrets you never imagined. Let's not forget the role of provenance. The coin's history, where it was found, who owned it, how it was preserved, contributed greatly to its value. The lineage of ownership, from a private estate to a high-profile collector, added mystery and allure. It became not just a coin, but a conversation starter among elite collectors worldwide. Furthermore, Queen Elizabeth II's portrait itself plays a major role. As the longest reigning monarch in British history, her likeness has graced more coins than any other sovereign. Coins bearing her image, especially those from her early reign or transitional periods, have gained legendary status in recent years, particularly since her passing in 2022. This historic moment sparked a renewed global interest in Elizabethan-era coinage, dramatically increasing prices and demand for key issues. In today's fast-paced digital world, physical coins like the 1982 pence offer something increasingly rare: tangibility. They are history in your hand, frozen moments that withstand time and technology. They spark curiosity, fuel exploration, and remind us that sometimes, the smallest items can carry the greatest stories. And this particular story continues to echo in the numismatic community. Museums have requested to exhibit the coin. Auction houses have analyzed every detail, trying to understand what pushed its value into the stratosphere. And thousands of amateur collectors now scour their own coin jars, hoping to find the next $1 million piece of metal hiding in plain sight. So, if you're in the UK or have visited there, it's time to look again at your 2p coins. Look closely, especially at those from the 1980s. Check the lettering. Examine the portrait. Inspect the edges, the shine, the weight, even the sound it makes when dropped. Who knows? Maybe you're holding a coin worth more than an entire luxury estate. To every coin collector watching, seasoned or just starting out, remember this: value isn't always where you expect it. Sometimes it hides in the ordinary, waiting for the right eye to see its brilliance. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. Yes, one remarkable specimen of the 1980 Elizabeth II 2p coin has been authenticated and sold for an unbelievable $45 million. That's right, $45 million for a coin that originally had the face value of just 2p. Proof that in the right condition, with the right story, even the smallest denomination can command a royal fortune. Top 4. Today, we journey into the realm of British currency to uncover one of the rarest, most mysterious, and incredibly valuable coins ever to exist. This is the story of the 1993 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2p coin, an ordinary-looking copper-plated disc that has left collectors stunned and historians intrigued. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this small piece of metal is now reportedly worth an astounding $40 million. To understand how something so small could become so significant, we must rewind the clock. The year is 1993. The United Kingdom is in transition. Queen Elizabeth II is in the 41st year of her reign, and the world is evolving quickly. The European Union is newly formed under the Maastricht Treaty. The royal family is facing challenges in the public eye, and the British economy is still recovering from the early 1990s recession. Amid this complex and changing environment, the Royal Mint continues its duty, quietly producing the nation's coinage, most people didn't pay any attention to the coins jingling in their pockets. Why would they? 2-pence coins were ubiquitous, simple, and often overlooked. But among the millions struck that year, something unusual happened, something that would take decades to be discovered. And that's where this story begins to heat up. The 1993 2-pence coin bears the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on its obverse, designed by Raphael Maklauf. This effigy was used from 1985 to 1997 and is instantly recognizable to collectors and non-collectors alike. The Queen is portrayed wearing the George IV state diadem, with the inscription, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD, surrounding her image. Simple, regal, timeless. But while the obverse remains consistent with other years, it's the reverse and some hidden minting details that begin to separate this coin from its peers. The reverse design features the badge of the Prince of Wales, 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with a ribbon below inscribed with the motto, Ich diene, meaning I serve, in German. This design, originally created by Christopher Ironside in 1971, became iconic. Below the badge is the denomination, 2-pence. And here lies the first clue to the coin's rarity. In the early 1980s, the Royal Mint decided to change the reverse inscription from new pence to 2-pence to reflect the now established decimal system introduced in 1971. While this change officially occurred in 1982, the confusion it caused lasted well into the 1990s. A few rare coins post-1982 were accidentally struck with the new pence inscription instead of 2-pence, due to die mix-ups. These errors became collector's items. But the 1993 issue, in particular, was never expected to be rare. After all, no major minting changes were scheduled for that year, yet what has stunned the numismatic world is the sudden appearance of a select few 1993 2-pence coins exhibiting unusual traits. Some show misalignments. Others have off-metal strikes. A few are believed to have been struck with dies that were either improperly maintained or misused. And there's one coin, just one, that experts believe may have been part of an ultra-limited trial strike using an experimental alloy. This specific coin, according to leading collectors and auction insiders, has become a legendary unicorn. Unlike standard copper-plated steel or bronze coins of the era, this trial piece shows signs of a unique metallic composition. The surface has a slightly golden hue under certain lighting conditions, and it reacts differently to magnetism than regular coins. This has led some to speculate that it was part of a secret testing initiative by the Royal Mint, perhaps to explore alternative metal mixes for future issues or to deal with increasing metal costs. What truly elevates the coin's mystique, however, is not just its odd composition or scarce numbers, it's the journey it has taken since its creation. The story goes that the coin was found in the 2000s by a schoolteacher in Kent, mixed in a bag of change. Unaware of its value, he kept it as a lucky token for nearly a decade, until a coin dealer noticed it during a casual visit. The dealer recognized something odd about its weight and finish and urged further inspection. After being passed through several hands, it reached the British Museum's numismatic experts, who confirmed that the coin's properties didn't match any known specifications for 1993 UK coinage. Though the Royal Mint has neither confirmed nor denied the possibility of a trial strike, insiders hint at documentation of such an experiment, filed away in confidential archives. As word of this coin's uniqueness spread, collectors from around the globe began to take notice. In 2023, a private collector reportedly offered $3 million for the piece. That offer was declined. Months later, another anonymous bid surfaced, this time for $9 million. Still no sale. Then, at a private auction attended only by vetted elite collectors and investors, the coin finally exchanged hands. The price? A jaw-dropping $40 million. Yes, you've heard that right. $40 million for a 2-pence coin. So what drives this kind of value? First, scarcity. Only one verified specimen exists, with possibly one or two more rumored but not authenticated. In the coin world, rarity drives demand. Second, the story. This isn't just a coin, It's a mystery, a piece of hidden history, a royal enigma. Third condition. The known specimen remains in near mint condition, free from circulation wear, despite its age. Finally, provenance. With museum-level validation and high-profile private ownership, the coin has already entered the folklore of modern numismatics. And let's not forget the psychological factor. For many wealthy collectors, owning a one-of-a-kind artifact that no one else can claim is the ultimate prize. It's not about face value. It's about legacy, status, and historical connection. Even today, numismatists continue to study the coin's unique properties. Its metal composition is being tested with advanced spectrometry tools. The royal mint remains tight-lipped, fueling further speculation. Some believe there may be others still out there, hidden in change jars, buried in forgotten drawers, or sealed away in old coin folders passed down through families. And this is where the story could take an even more exciting turn. Imagine, for a moment, that right now, in your own home, you hold a coin with similar anomalies. A piece that looks ordinary at first glance but holds untold value. That's the beauty of numismatics. It's a field where passion meets patience, and history meets mystery. The 1993 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin reminds us that true value often lies in the overlooked, the forgotten, the misprinted, and the misunderstood. It challenges our assumptions about what is valuable, and tells us that sometimes, extraordinary worth can be found in the most humble objects. This tiny copper coin, no larger than the size of a button, has now joined the ranks of legendary coins like the 1933 Double Eagle, the 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar, and the 1913 Liberty Head Nickel. Its fame continues to grow, and with every public mention, its mythical status increases. Whether or not more examples surface remains to be seen. But one thing is certain. The 1993 UK Elizabeth II 2-pence coin has forever changed how collectors view modern coinage. It's not always about the age. Sometimes, it's about the anomaly. Sometimes, it's about the story. And sometimes, it's about being in the right place at the right time with a curious mind and a sharp EYE.so. The next time you find yourself with spare change, don't dismiss it. Look closely. Examine the details. You never know what treasures might be hiding in plain sight. One day, you could be the person holding the next multimillion-dollar mystery. And that, dear viewers, is why the humble 1993 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin is not just a piece of metal, but a piece of history, a slice of royalty, and today, a legend valued at an astonishing $40 million. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into coin history. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss another tale of hidden fortune. Until next time, keep your eyes on your change. You might just be holding a fortune. This is ultra rare coins history, and the next treasure could be yours.